everyone. My name is Jamon McKinney, or you can just call me Juice because that is my nickname. I'm branching out into some NBA content over the next week or so. I will be dropping some baseball content for you guys, so be sure to stay tuned for those things. But today, we're focusing on the NBA. Like I said, I will be dropping some NFL content still for you guys. That's my bread and butter and the base of the show. But yeah, I'm going to talk about Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks today. I believe that Luka Doncic is going to be a special player for a very, very long time in the National Basketball Association. I believe Luka Doncic is special. And as long as Luka Doncic stays healthy for the next 15 to 20 years, I'm going to make some bold predictions about his career as of right now. As long as Luka Doncic stays healthy for relatively the next 15 to 20 years, I believe he's going to reach 30,000 career points. I believe he's going to win at least one regular season MVP and at least one NBA Finals MVP. And at some point in Luka Doncic's career, I believe that he is going to take the title as the best player in basketball. Okay? I believe he's going to be that good. By the way, I'm not saying that Luka Doncic is going to be the greatest basketball player of all time. That title belongs to Michael Jordan as of right now. And I don't think that anyone is going to catch him, when it's all said and done, at least for the time being. I'm talking about Luka Doncic being labeled as the best player in the NBA for roughly about a 4 to 5 year stretch. I believe that he can, take on that title. Now, I did slightly struggle with that prediction as far as Luka becoming the best player in basketball because that is, a pretty sacred, I should say, award, so to speak, even though it is a subjective award to a certain degree based on, everyone's opinions. Some people right now think that LeBron James is the best player in basketball. Some people think that Kawhi Leonard is the best. Some people think that Kevin Durant, as of right now, is the best. Sometimes it's not clear cut, but I think he'll at least be in that conversation, And I kind of struggle with this because Luka Doncic is not really a talker. And I do think that media perception definitely has an impact on how people view you. I think that, Michael Jordan, by the way, the greatest player of all time, I do think that he slightly benefited from being this fly, cool, swaggy guy off the court. I believe that Kobe Bryant, benefited from being a star. LeBron James has benefited from his star power. I think that, Kevin Durant, who gives great quotes to the media, people know who he is. Luka Doncic can be funny, he can crack a joke or two here and there, but he's not really a talker, and he's not someone that's going to give you a lot of great quotes as far as, if he's at the podium. He's just not one of those guys. So if his numbers are close to someone like Zion Williamson, who to me has a chance to ascend into greatness one day, potentially, even though I will definitely take Luka Doncic over him, he might be at a point in his career one day where he will unfairly be not given the proper, respect that he deserves simply because Zion might be more captivating, as a player and as a person than Luka. But I look at a guy like Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is not really a talker, and some people think that he's the best player in basketball based on what he did last year. And Kawhi Leonard did not start really becoming an MVP candidate up until year number 6. Luka Doncic, not only does he talk more than Kawhi Leonard, which is actually not hard to do, he's putting up MVP numbers in his second season. Let that sink in, folks. And why do I believe in Luka Doncic so much? First of all, this guy is a gym rat. You can tell this guy just lives in the gym. He works on his skills 24/7. Is he the greatest athlete in the world? No, he's not. Is he going to jump out of a gym and play above the rim 24/7? No, he's not. But what Luka Doncic is supremely skilled. And he has an excellent feel for the game. I think that matters. Luka's a great ball handler. He can create his own shot. He's great at operating in the pick and roll. He's a great finisher around the rim. He understands angles very well. He's a very smart player. He has great footwork. He can work in the low post. He can shoot the three ball if you need him to. And I think that Luka Doncic just has the ability to do everything you need him to do on a basketball court. There's not a single thing that Luka Doncic cannot do on the basketball court outside of maybe post up 280-pound power forwards and things of that nature. And he's a pretty big body as far as, a guard. So, some people list him as a point guard. Some people list him as a shooting guard. I'll just call him a combo guard for now. And just overall a great basketball player. Outside of a couple things, what can Luka Doncic not do on the basketball court? This guy in Europe was dominating at 16 years old, grown men. That's one of the reasons why he translated to the NBA so well. I mean, let's look at what Luka Doncic is doing in his age 20 season. In his second season in the NBA, 28.7 points per game, 9.3 rebounds, 8.7 assists. He's shooting 46.1% from the field, 31.8% from three, 75% from free throw range. Not to mention, he just turned 21 years old back in February. Let that sink in, people. And if I were to choose between any of the young up and rising stars in the NBA, between Ja Morant, Zion Williamson, Jason Tatum, Trae Young, I like all those guys, but I'm taking Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is going to be the best out of all of the young players that are up and coming, and one day he's going to be the best player in all basketball. He's going to score a bunch of points. He'll win a couple scoring titles, I think. I think that he has a chance to win, multiple MVPs. I think that the Dallas Mavericks are in a great spot as far as the way their team is constructed. They're a very good young team. I believe in Rick Carlisle as a head coach. He's won an NBA championship before. I think Kristaps Porzingis, Luka Doncic's, best teammate. I think that he has all the potential in the world. He can be a 20-point per game, 10 rebound guy for the next, decade if he, fully develops and continues to stay healthy. I like the direction the Mavericks are going in, man. And the reason why I think that Luka Doncic is going to be the best out of all those young players is because while they're all great, outside of Trae Young, I don't think anyone has shown they can play at this high of level. I don't think that anyone has shown they can match Luka Doncic's level as far as a rebounder, a passer, and a scorer up to this point. Okay, Zion Williamson is close. I'd like to see him expand on his rookie year, and this is kind of a small sample size. And while Trae Young is putting up great numbers, they have not translated. It really hasn't translated to wins, and maybe that's not Trae Young's fault. But I think that when you talk about Luka Doncic, he's got probably the highest floor and maybe the highest ceiling. I think that he has both. I don't think that he's going to ever flame out. Even if Luka Doncic stays at the level that he's playing right now, 28 to 29 points per game, 9 rebounds, 8 assists, he's gonna put up a lot of great numbers. If he gives me that production for the next 10 years, that's gonna be on pace for him being one of the 10 best players of all time if he gets the hardware and the MVPs to go with it. And the thing about Luka Doncic is he's not the most athletic guy, but you can improve your athletic ability. You can improve, your vertical jump. You can get faster. You can lose some body fat, okay? But at times, it's hard to improve upon your skill set once you get to the NBA. We've seen guys like Giannis Antetokounmpo come a long way in his development. But if you are supremely skilled as a basketball player, you can play for a long time. Look at Steph Curry. Look at Kevin Durant. Even though he has been a little bit injury prone, I believe those guys can play for a long time because they have a jump shot. They have an excellent feel for the game. They can handle the ball. Their game does not rely solely on their athletic ability. Luka Doncic can get stronger. He can get faster. He can spend more time in the weight room. And I'd rather be the guy that can do all the things on the basketball court from a skill set perspective rather than being the guy that's this athletic freak that doesn't have a great feel for the game and a guy that can't shoot. I just don't want to be that guy. I would much rather be like a Luka Doncic. Now, as far as where Luka can get better, I think that he could get better at shooting the three ball. He's only shooting about 31% from three. I believe he could get better as far as a free throw shooter. He's shooting about 75% from free throw range, which is pretty good. But I believe Luka can reach, around 36 to 37% from three-point range, once he hits his full, prime and reaches his full potential. And I do believe that he's going to be well over 80% from the free throw line. So I'd like to see him improve in those areas. Also, I would like to see Luka Doncic improve more as an overall defender. I would like to see him be more engaged on defense and take on more of a responsibility on the defensive end. But once Luka Doncic does that, and once he gets a little bit stronger and improves his core strength and, gets a little bit more athletic and maybe loses a little bit of body fat, this guy is going to be unstoppable. Imagine what he's going to be doing when he's 25, 26, 27, 28 years old. Once he enters the actual prime of his career. Luka Doncic is not even in the prime of his career yet. Okay? Let that sink in, folks. I believe Luka Doncic is going to score a bunch of points. I believe he's going to be a great player. He's going to win a lot of games for the Mavericks. I expect him to win at least a championship or two. I like the infrastructure and the direction the Dallas Mavericks are going in as an organization. And one day, I believe Luka Doncic will take the title as the best player in basketball. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juice Alert Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juice Alert Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.